warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 8. We want to tell you about planning and structuring an email and or letter, avoiding mistakes in English. But before we start our presentation, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Desti Widiyanti and my partner is Wimma Saskia. We are from Diploma 3 Office Administration Class A 2018. So, we want to mention about our outlines. The first is plan your email or letter and be sensitive to the recipient's point of the view. The second is organize the information in the most logic and order and only include what is necessary. The third is bear in mind that long emails or letter will be scrolled. The fourth is use short sentence and choose the best grammatical subject. And the fifth is choose the shortest phrase.
And there is the fifth outline. There is choose the shortest phrase, and the sixth outline is don't experiment with your English, instead copy or adapt the English of the sender. The seventh is when using pronouns, ensure that it is 100 clear to the recipient what noun the pronoun refers to. And the eighth line is avoid ambiguity. And next is ensure that recipient in different time zone will interpret dates and time correctly. And the last is always check your spelling manually. Don't rely on automatic spell checkers. So I would like to explain the first topic is about plan your email or letter and be sensitive to the recipient's point of view. Before we send an email, we have to think about the goal of my email or letter. What is the goal of my email or letter? The second is the recipient. Who is my recipient? The third is their position in the company hierarchy. What is their position in the company hierarchy? How formal do I need to be? The fourth is how busy will my recipient be? How can I get his or her attention? The fifth is what does my recipient already know about the topic of my email? Or anything else that could be guessing how the recipient will respond about our email or letter. Because not all the recipient can read the message in one way like we think. They might have a different thoughts like us, and it might be offend him or her in some way. The next slide is about organize the information in the most logical order and only include what is necessary. There are some chances of the email might be not effective because the first thing is the most important information is left until the end of the email. The second thing is it contains information that may be irrelevant to there is no apology. It is also a good idea not to force the recipient to read a mess of non-essential information before you finally tell them your request. And there is topic 3 is about bear in mind that long emails or letters will be scrolled. In long emails and letters, it is imperative to gain the recipient's interest quickly so that they will be encouraged to continue reading. Ensure that there is a topic sentence showing what the emails or letter is about and what response or action you require from the recipient. And we have to make it easy for them to read by using the first one is bullets, the second one is bold to highlight important words, and the last one is white space to separate items. So there's the fourth topic is about use short sentence and choose the best grammatical subject. We have to avoid grammatical error in our letter or email and use the correct punctuation so that the recipient will get the right information when reading a good grammatical subject in the email. And we need to use the first one is select the most important item to put as the grammatical subject of the sentence. The second one is put the verb and object as close as possible to the subject. And the last is limit yourself to a sentence with two parts so that there is only a beginning and the end part. If you have three parts or more, the middle part will be read with less attention. And there is some of advantage of having a short sentence. There is helps your recipient locate the key of information in your sentence with the minimal mental or visual effort. And it could be make it much easier for you to change the order of the information and delete parts of your emails or add parts to it. And the last is it can be easier for the recipient to insert comment directly into the body of the email. And the fifth topic is about choose the shortest phrase. Don't use consonants with brevity words, because the brevity words may have two major disadvantages. The first is lack of precision and clarity. The recipient will be guessing what is the meaning of these words, and if they don't understand about it, they will get the wrong information. And the second is it may sound rude and suggest that you couldn't find the time to make it polite and clear. It will make us look like we are too lazy to type it into a good sentence, and we will look like unpolite.
The sixth is don't experiment with your English, instead copy or adapt the English of the sender. The less you write, the less chance you have of making mistakes with your English. Imagine that someone finished their email to you in the following way. Copying the phrases of the sender and or adding to is a good tactic for repeating a greeting. For example, if the sender said to us, "I hope you have a great weekend," so we can reply it or we can answer with, "I hope you have a great weekend too." The second example is if the sender said, "Have a great weekend," we can say, "You too." And the third example is if the sender said, "Enjoy your holiday," we can say or we can reply with, "I hope you enjoy your holiday too." But not all phrases can be replied to simply by adding to. For example, if the sender send to us or write to us with "see you the next week," so we cannot reply "see you the next week too," but we should reply or we should answer with "I'm looking forward to seeing you at the meeting." The next is when using pronouns ensure it is 100% clear to the recipient what noun the pronoun refers to. A common problem in email is the use of pronouns such as him, her, they, them, which one, and the other that could refer to more than one noun. The sentence is the first column below have been is ambiguous in the third column. We can see the example on the PowerPoint. Uh, the first column is ambiguous sentence. The sentence is "Thank you for your email and the attachment which I have forwarded to my colleagues." The reason for ambiguity in the second column is which is for email, attachment, or both. And then the third column is "Thank you for your email. I have forwarded the attachment to my colleagues." Uh, when we using pronouns ensure that is 100 clear, it is very important to avoid the misunderstanding between us and then the sender. And then the next is avoid ambiguity. In an email, you should make sure that you give it at the same time, at the same attention as any other important written document by making it 100% clear and unambiguous. If you don't, it can be annoying for the recipient who is often forced to ask for clarification. Ambiguity arises when a phrase can be interpreted in the more than one way, as highlighted by this example. The first is our division is looking for candidates who speak English, Spanish, and Chinese. Is the division looking for three different candidates, one for each language, or one candidate who can speak all three languages? So this is very important when we have checked the email or the letter before we send it to the recipient. The next is ensure that recipient in different time zones will interpret date and times correctly. It's very important if we have business relationship with another country or other city. It is also have different times and also different days. For example, if we have the business relationship with in other country, it is sometimes different one days. We have tips to write date and time in email or letter. The first is write date and time in specific. For example, the server will not available from 9 a.m. in London time until 6 p.m. on Saturday, 17th October 2018. The second is write date with name and month to avoid misunderstanding. For example, write the name of the month like January, February, March, or the other. For example, is March 21st, 2020. Last is always check your spelling manually. Don't rely on automatic spell checkers. Automatic spell checkers check the spelling of a document by searching for existence of a word in their dictionary. This means that certain spelling mistakes will not be found simply because the misspelled word also exists. So always do double checking to your spelling. If you don't, you may first create a bad impression, and the second is confuse the reader. So there are 10 steps to planning and structuring an email or letter, avoiding mistakes in your English. I think that's enough. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.